In this video, we're going to talk about how to command respect, not only in relationships, but in your life. And one of the biggest determining factors for men, at least nowadays, is the lack of dominance in their life. In other words, they just don't have much dominant behavior. And what we've discovered at Genuine Attraction and from coaching thousands of men is that men typically lack in one of two categories. Either it's the category of dominance, and the category of dominance is the one that primarily drives attraction, or the category of connection, which primarily drives safety and the loving feelings and the understanding and the I hear you and I understand you type of a thing. So in this video, we're going to talk about dominance and what you can do to be more dominant in your behavior, in your speech, in your certainty, the way you present yourself in the world, and also how you present yourself to women in your life. Now, with that being said, we don't want to rely on a bunch of tactics for the way that you operate. What we want to do is have this come out of you and generate intrinsically. And the biggest tenet for Genuine Attraction, if you've been through the Soul Seducer program, if you've been through Broken to Badass, you read the Betrayed to Badass book, you'll see that we talk about this concept of being unapologetically yourself, tempered with heart and humility. Because you can be unapologetically yourself. You're like, I'm a straight shooter. It's like, no, you're just an asshole. We don't want to be that kind of guy, because what that does, that just demonstrates that we don't care about the other people in our realm. So we want to be able to demonstrate that we can be dominant, but also tempered with some sort of control. In other words, we want to be the wild beast, but also be the civilized man. And so the game that we're trying to demonstrate here when it comes to your relationships and women is we don't want to let go of the wild beast. We don't want to have him completely sedated. Now, he can be somewhat managed, and he should be managed, but if you're not able to tap into the dark version of yourself, your shadow self, and be able to exhibit these things and let people see what that is, they're not going to really be able to trust you fully. And so what we want to be able to do is demonstrate your own dominance in your life, your own certainty in your life, and so you can come out from a place where you command respect. And so, here we go, let's get started. My name is Ed Baxter, and I help guys in betrayal situations. I've coached thousands of men, tens of thousands of men who come through my doors in one form or another. I've had over 3,000 guys come through the Betrayed to Badass program. And that's what we do. We'll get you to that place where you make the right decision for you and your children. The biggest thing that we'll see with guys is they'll just apologize. They'll apologize for everything. And so when a guy first comes to the program, one of the things that I'm looking for is a certainty in his eyes. This look where he's like, he just knows who he is and he's certain of who he is and how he is. You can see it in their eyes and how they act. And generally when they're not this way, they kind of have this deer in the headlights look. And they kind of have this apologetic demeanor. And they will literally apologize for everything. Like if you didn't understand something, say, hey, can you repeat that? Like, sorry. Or you'll go to sit down, or you'll be like sort of like if they come into the training room, we'll have this room full of 30, 15 guys, and I'll walk past them, they'll apologize for just standing there. Like they're literally just standing there and I'm trying to get through the door and they'll apologize, or I'll walk around them and they just whatever it happens to be. They're always looking at other people and apologizing for everything that they do. And so what you want to do is obviously stop apologizing. Stop saying, I'm sorry. Most of the time, it's not required. Most of the time, what you just need to do is change, make a pivot, do a different action, and be certain in the way that you want to do something, which leads to the second one, which is speak with authority. Now, you can hear me, I speak with authority. I'm not asking questions. I'm not saying, hey, if you don't mind, hey, can you do this? Hey, please excuse me. You know, I'm not doing it. I'm like, hey, let's do this. Let's go here. Let's do this thing. And not only just words that I say, but it's the way that I say it. It has a very kind of a cutting certainty about it. And so you want to develop this cutting certainty about the way that you speak. And you'll notice that a lot of men develop this sometime in, like, through puberty. They'll learn how to do this certainty in the way that they talk. And it comes from a place of, hey, I have some power and I'm going to exert it. And I like what I can get when I do this. And so you have to also be able to exhibit this type of certainty in the way that you speak. And so not only are you apologetic in your body language and the language that you say, but if you're not certain in what you're saying, nobody's going to really take you that seriously. The third one is boundaries. Now, most guys think that, or they don't know what boundaries are, and they get into a relationship and they're just like, well, I'm going to see if I can make this work. I'm going to compromise. You know, compromise is the best thing for a relationship. And while that may be true, compromise generally means you're with somebody who's not either a good match for you or somebody that you're having to constantly capitulate to their demands. And so like with my wife, we don't really have to do like negotiation. We don't have to do this thing of like, let's meet in the middle, because we match well. And so when we hear this couple, I hear about a couple who fights a lot. I hear about a couple who just can't seem to get along, and they're always having to compromise and meet in the middle. I just see a couple that they probably shouldn't have got married in the first place. because what they're having to do is they're having to be something that they're not. They're having to put up with shit they don't want in their life. So if they just met with somebody or they married somebody that matched them well, they wouldn't have these type of problems. And oftentimes, the problems are a boundary issue. A boundary issue being something like doing something that you really shouldn't be doing in a relationship, like belittling them, manipulating them, guilting them, shaming them, not holding to what's your timelines, not being cognizant of like schedule, not doing what you say you're going to do, lying, cheating, taking attention from the opposite sex when you really know you shouldn't. These are all boundary issues. Spending too much money that you know you shouldn't spend, trying to keep secrets from your partner. And there's a difference between privacy and secrecy. And so whenever you're trying to be secret to your partner, you see that they're trying to do that to you, you know that they know that they don't want you to know this because it would upset you. And so now we have to start talking about the game of boundaries. It's a game of fuck around, find out, really. In other words, if somebody crosses my boundary, I'm going to say, hey, please don't do this. And somebody who cares about me, somebody who respects my boundaries, is going to go, oh man, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I didn't even know, so I'm not going to do that again. That's the normal behavior. That's how people should be. Now, if I say, hey, please don't do this, and they get defensive, and then they double down on the behavior, now I know that this person does not really give a shit about how I feel about it. All they want to do is be right. All they want to do is double down on what they're doing. And so now we have to escalate it. Say, okay, well, you're obviously not going to do this, so I'm going to have to escalate this. Okay, well, if you don't do this, here's going to be the consequence. And so boundaries have to have teeth. If there's no teeth to the boundary, there's no consequence. Just like if you have children and they have a consequence for their actions, then they'll actually listen to you. If there's no consequences, then what ends up happening is you keep talking and talking and talking, and then you raise your voice. Now you're yelling at your kids, and now you have to invoke fear to get them to listen to you. And so then what happens if they run into the street and you yell? They're not going to listen because you have trained them not to listen to you when you yell. And so it's the same in your relationship. If you have strong boundaries, you don't have to yell. You just have to say, hey, please don't do this, and the other person will listen. Now, with that being said, if you're unwilling to enforce your boundaries, if you're unwilling to walk away, which is the ultimate escalation, if they don't do what you ask them to do and you then start removing your time and attention, they still do it, you have to walk away. And you have to always be willing to walk away from a relationship. Like even in my marriage, if something happens in my marriage, I have to be willing to walk away. People say, well, that's not a marriage. It's like, well, unfortunately, we cannot allow the safety net of the marriage to erode our boundaries. You cannot. As a man, you cannot, even in your marriage. Even if the woman is amazing and she loves you to death, you cannot allow your marriage to erode your boundaries. So it's like, well, we're married, so I guess I have to put up with it. No, you don't, and no, you shouldn't. Because just that sense right there, that thing is see, codependency is built from this place of, hey, I'm going to do whatever I want, and I'll promise not to leave you. And you're like, okay, well, I guess you can do whatever you want, just please don't leave. And so what will end up happening, she'll say, well, she'll give you a hard time. Like, well, I can't fight with her forever because it'll destroy the relationship. So I guess I just need to keep the peace. And it's like, because if I don't, then the relationship's going to fall apart. And it's like, well, it's going to fall apart anyway. Because now you're training her to treat you poorly. You're training her to cross your boundaries. You're training her that if she complains loud enough, she gets emotional enough, if she plays the victim enough, if she blames you, guilts you, shames you, gaslights you, then she gets to do whatever she wants. So the game always reduces down to, I can do whatever I want, and I won't leave you. And you play this game of, well, I guess she can do whatever she wants as long as she doesn't leave. And now you've ruined the relationship. There are no boundaries because she holds the trump card of, I'll just leave you. The fourth one is seeking approval or validation. And so whenever you're seeking approval from people, you want their approval. You don't want to come off as a jerk. You want them to like you. And you need this feeling of, people need to like me to feel better about myself. I need beautiful women to like me to feel better about myself. I need my wife to like me and sleep with me to feel better about myself. And if she does, then I don't feel very good. This is a bad one because this is the one that's the root of all the issues here. Like, you're not going to be able to enforce boundaries if you're afraid of hurting someone's feelings. You're not going to be able to tell them no. You're going to over-apologize for things because you don't want them to be upset with you. You're not going to be able to speak with authority because everything about you is apologetic. And so you needing approval from other people is a problem. You're never going to be able to assert your own dominance or certainty or power or authority in the world if you're worried about the ways people think about you. In fact, you have to be able and willing to have people not like you. If you're not willing to have that, you'll just never be your own guy. You'll always be at the behest of other people. You'll always be the guy who has to do what other people want to get them to like you, which means you're always putting on a mask, which means you're always being fake as shit, which always means you are being manipulative. You're not being unapologetically yourself. You're trying to be something that somebody else wants in order to get them to like you. You're manipulating. That's what that is. Most guys who consider themselves like really nice people are manipulating women in this way. We call those the nice guys. Women cannot stand it. They can see it a mile away and they fucking hate it. And guys are like, well, I'm so nice to her, I do all these things for her and all this stuff. It's like, yeah, because you're trying to bribe her into liking you because you don't feel like you have any intrinsic value. And she doesn't like you because you're apologetic with your behavior. You're trying to be nice and manipulative, and you're really not that nice at all. And so you don't really exhibit any dominance in your life. And so everything about you is just falling apart, trying to get this approval from somebody else. And so if you're trying to get her approval, then how can she see that you're strong in the world? She's going to see that the world's kicking you in the dick all the time, and that you're just moving around to everybody else's approval. She's going to see you as a weak man without any dominance in your life, and she's not going to find you attractive at all. And what ends up happening is guys will get into a relationship for many years, and maybe he was this dominant, awesome dude, and then over the years, he just started capitulating. He just said, well, it's not worth the fight. And slowly over time, he becomes this, what they call the nice guy. And then he's like, well, my wife doesn't want to sleep with me anymore. She's telling me she's not in love with me anymore. And then he doubles down on connection. Well, I just need to be more connected. She just needs to be heard and understood more. She just needs to feel that that she can really trust me. And she's like, I don't trust you at all. And the guy gets really confused. Like, I don't understand what's happening. The problem is he doesn't have any dominance in his life. I can't tell you the number of relationships where all the fucking relationship problems are solved when the guy becomes dominant in his life. All of a sudden she gets attracted to him again. All of a sudden she stops bringing up issues. All of a sudden she's the one trying to fix all the problems in a relationship, and the guy doesn't really have to do anything. And guys are like, how the fuck is this possible? How is this crazy magic and wizardry happening? Well, because they learn to become a fucking soul seducer. They learn to balance dominance and connection. And you're going to find most places on the internet are not going to tell you how to do this. In fact, I don't know of any place on the internet outside of the Soul Seducer program that teaches you how to be dominant. And so the last one is the dominant man carries himself with self-respect. He looks up, shoulders back, walks proud, has open body language. He can speak with people clearly. He's not afraid. And so his life isn't dictated by fear. So the approval-seeking man, the nice guy, his life is dictated by fear. He's afraid of everything. He's afraid of his own shadow. He's afraid of everybody's opinion. He's afraid of how he looks. He's afraid of what people think about him and what he's going to say. And if he said the right thing, and the conversations that are running on through in his head over and over and over again, did he say the right thing? Did he not say the right thing? Let me think about this text message I have to send her. Am I going to send her the right one? Should I get her flowers? What kind of date does she want? What is it? It's all approval-seeking bullshit. Instead of just living his life in a way that he wants to live it, he's living it for everybody else. He cannot be unapologetically himself, and that's what we teach men to do in the Soul Seducer program. Guys come into this program, either their marriage is falling apart, or maybe his wife just said, I don't love you anymore, or maybe she's even cheating on him, and he's like, I don't understand what happened here. And I go look at it, and 9 times out of 10, in the game of connection and dominance, he's lacking in the dominance. He doesn't know how to command respect in his relationship without becoming an asshole. He doesn't know how to say what he wants without shutting his wife down. He doesn't know how to hold boundaries without turning it into a frickin' fight. And so guys don't know how to have this quiet, smoldering dominance, this power in the relationship. And so all these problems come up because the wife can't feel him anymore. She feels this weak dude, and she's like, I don't feel attracted to you. I don't really want to sleep with you. And then he's like, I don't understand why you don't want to have sex with me. Don't you find me attractive? And she can't say no. So she lies. No, I just have a headache. No, I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not interested in sex anymore. And this is what happens to guys. They have no idea how to exert dominance in their life. They have no idea how to exert leadership in their relationship because they can't even dominate their own habits and lifestyle and everything else. They are completely weak-minded, not in control of their emotional state, completely anxiety-riddled, and they're completely looking for approval of other people. And if you are dealing with any of this stuff, we can actually turn that around in a few weeks. A couple of weeks, your anxiety will be practically nothing, and then within a couple of months you will be firing on all cylinders, and she will notice. And the thing is that she will fix all your relationship problems, just like she made all your relationship problems. I'm telling you, women are the chasers. They are the pursuer of relationship. Women are, not the men. And when men keep going to this place, she just needs to be heard and understood more, and I just need to figure out what's going on. No, you don't. I'm telling you, if you get your life together, if you get your shit in a bag, she will come knocking on your door, and she will be the one to make the relationship work, and you won't have to do much. And you'll be like, I don't understand this wizardry. How did this magic happen? It's like, well, you just started operating on a different frequency, a frequency of power. And so, brother, if you want more information about that, go check out the links in the description below for the Soul Seducer program, and I will see you in the next video.